I wasn't recording this whole time, so unfortunately, you're gonna have to live with the fact that I made mistakes and you're the one who's Anyway, they're having a bit of a little chit chat. Dr. Benovitz is kind of man. I'm kind of nasty about that. They walk through, they go up the stairs. They fight aliens. I like how they just take care of it. And she's like, "Man, Gordon, you're kind of scary. This whole vent thing is a little weird." Um, Russell seems to be okay. When the hell did I stop recording? That doesn't make sense to me. That doesn't make any sense at all because I know I start the recording because I always make sure that like my little bleep loop is bleep looping. Well, fuck if I know. Let's see. Yeah, Dr. Benovitz has her ears blown out because she's not used to this. And they get to a God, I love this description of like video game stuff is happening. Don't worry about it. We're moving fast. Flurry of movement around the stairwell. Then they go down because they're at that little section with the turret that's going blah 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 blah. And then they're thrown to the ground. And Olivia is so freaked out by getting shot at that she enters panic mode. She can't register her environments. Her body moves on autopilot. She crawls behind a desk. I commented, hey, it's kind of weird that those desks are bulletproof. Kind of a shit turret, if you ask me. I also commented on the fact that that's not a minigun. It's called a Gatling gun. Because a minigun is something else. But anyway, yeah, she crawls up. And somewhere down the process, she gets shot. And her jacket's all like fucked up. Cut that sleeve. They jab her with the little thing so that she recovers. And she's like, flesh wound, I got shot! And then I realized, whoopsies, I forgot to hit record. I was shot. I've been shot. Any doubts wasn't a dream, here's my ultimate proof. A bullet hole straight through my arm. Suddenly the world feels a bit more grim than it already was. Something tugs at the wounded appendage. Thought looking over, I watch as a slightly clearer sight of Dr. Benovitz wrapping something about the bullet wound. I do appreciate that they're like, yeah, it went clean through. It's fine. Don't worry, Olivia. If it goes clean through, they don't have to do surgery because the bullet's gone. It's over there now. It's not your concern. And the reason I realized that I wanted to do this is because I wanted to take a little break. Because I had to, I had to clear my chakras. It's not a pleasant business, but you need to do it from time to time. The best I can do. She needs a medical station as soon as we can find one. Oh, they don't even have a medical station. Oh, fuck. Look, that's better than her bleeding out on the floor, Smith admits, the human coming into view as I lazily turn my head to meet his gaze. Fun fact, the medical kits you find over the game, in Black Mesa specifically, they are very much meant to be like these little things you hook up to an HEV suit. They do not probably contain actual gauze and wrappings and bandages and stuff, or splints. And in regard to do so for so much all of a sudden, like a giant waves wrestling against my head. It's because you lost blood, and blood loss goes fast. The small reassuring smiles crouch it down. You are going to be okay, kid. We are almost out of here. Almost out of here. Well, those words sound like a lie more and more. Oh, she crawled out of the harness. I do appreciate that they did remember that, she was strapped up. Hold up. Where are we? Not like a lie. Do you think you can get into the harness on your own? It's good old Smith. Got Smith, Russo, and Benowitz. Man, what a collection of names. Matt tiredly shakes his head at the side. Oh, he also pointed out that like Olivia's little freakout session would, technically speaking, work a little better if it was Gordon's POV, because with Gordon's POV you can kind of play around a bit more because we don't know what Olivia's thinking in that moment, and we can describe the actions more. Whereas Olivia's in this panic mode, and she shouldn't really be able to describe most of her actions. She'd be more summarized and short and brief and terse, chaotic and unpredictable. Thought so. Russo, call it over here and help me. What do you need from me? The female scientist asked, volunteering her services. All the humans carefully worked together. It's a minor input from me. Let me slip back into the harness once more. I sink into it like a fleshy weight, the unpleasant cables feeling like the most comfortable mattress in the world. A slow, yet shaky breath puffs out of me as I lean my head into Gordon's back, closing my eyes. Why can't I just go home? What did I do to deserve this hell? I'm not supposed to be here. So I got the humans getting a move on once more. Familiar sensations of my situation. A feeling all too feeling all too ever growing familiar begin. Only this time they seem multiplied, real, almost like 100 evil eyes staring down at my demise. What a demise it'll be! Another shaky scoff bubbles out of me as I furrow my brows in some concentrated attempt to magically wish myself back home. Just click your heels, baby. A female screech fills the air, as all too familiar choking sounds of zombies fill the air. The air is just full of things today. Ah! Look out! Heavy industrial threat from Ringworld. I haven't flinched at the thunder's hammer strike at the shotgun. Only seems to add to my growing pit of despair. These emotions, the hopelessness of it all. A choked sob bubbles from me as I press against the only consistent thing in the hell, feeling like a sack of lead. Just so tired! I'm so tucked out! Bang, bang, bang! A choked garble sounds out in the hallway, as another alien falls to the ground dead, as I dispatch it with my shotgun. Deciding to save some of the... Oh wait, he uses his little handgun. Okay. I mean, the aliens you probably want to shoot down, because they're a little more nasty with their range attack, and also the approach is more hazardous. You want cover, and cover's easier when you're further away. Fantastic, Russo shouts from behind me. The younger guard obviously satisfied with yet another one of those beasts slain. The rest of the group quickly follows up from behind, Smith having held back with Dr. Benovitz while I charge ahead to meet the enemy. We push forward after patching up Olivia's best as we could. The office space is quickly giving way to dark, concrete-surrounded, pipe-filled server room corridor. Hisses of steam and the sound of water flowing surrounds us as we press forward. I keep my attention sharply fixed on in front of us, not looking to be ambushed once again. I'd already slacked off and look what happened. I failed again. It's the second time that Olivia had been seriously wounded, all because I wasn't paying attention. I mean, she's the one that slipped out of the harness, if anything. My thoughts threatened to slip back into the ever-darkening parts of my mind. Gordon, please. How is she doing? I briefly pause, turning to meet Smith's gaze as he looks at my passenger. At some point, she seems to have fallen asleep as she slipped back into the harness. No doubt side effect from the emergency healing syringes. Oh my god. So, if you don't know, the scientists in the game will in fact offer you, like, little healing syringes. I don't know what conditions need to be met for that. I think your HP needs to be pretty low. But they offer you some healing, so they're nice to keep around if you're particularly bad at the game or need a little extra boost. But yeah, I like how we're bringing that up. Shock wearing off. Thankfully, besides its flesh when she's alive, and judging by the gentle bits of snoring and deep rumbling and everything. Also, despite the fact that it's strongly implied that dinosaurs are pretty tough, I like how Olivia gets fucking shot and she's like, well, one shot will do me. Because I don't care how tough your scales and muscle are. A bullet's a fucking bullet, man. And she is not, she's not Dino Mo or Ripley in terms of raw size, right? Bullet's big. And fat don't help. She needed the rest, and I'm already happy to give it to her. We breach another pair of double doors, pressing forward through the concrete brick-lined corridors of the facility. Rounding around a curved hallway, we walk past some stacked boxes and click, 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 click. Oh my god, I can see the fucking walking. Instinctively draw my gun and take aim at the rapidly approaching footsteps. A familiar blue and gray uniform fills my sight picture? Sight picture? The shape quickly letting out a startled yep. Friendly! I'm friendly! I met with the sign of a panicking guard waving his hand out towards me. Quickly dropping his gaze, I sidestep, hoping Smith and Russo would recognize the guard. Russo? Smith? Jesus, I thought you guys were dead! The guard felt just in between the two age-wise. Why are you commenting on that? Appearing younger than Smith and certainly older than Russo. The only difference being a rather prominent beard on the guy's face and the lack of his helmet. And he's fat. Like, borderline, how are you even a security guard here? Please, sir. He met the physical criteria. He's allowed to be here. Andronetti, man, am I glad to see you. Smith eagerly exclaims as the three guards group up, happy to see that none of the group has survived. A small banter explodes between them as they exchange where they have been and what they have seen, a flurry of hand movements only serving to enunciate each of the men's respective stories. Hey, what are you guys doing here? How about you get topside? Let's go for the Boston. What are you guys doing here? You gotta get topside. This addition to our army of security guards encourages with a throw of a thumb over the shoulder. Oh, the troops are coming to save us. Wait, soldiers are coming? Dr. Benowitz quips in, both hope in her voice and the mere act of actually speaking getting the attention of Vanetti. Before she could explain, Smith closes his throat. That is our plan. We've been stuck in the lower levels, trying to fight our way up. The HEV-wearing doc found me down in admin, and we picked up Russell and Benowitz over there. Andretti nods and shifts his gaze over to... What the frickin' hell is that? Smith throws me a concerned gaze as the newest addition to our group begins panically looking around for the sound of the noise. And the writing on the wall. Look, pal, we've got another passenger with us. I know it may be hard to believe, but, I think it is some kind of weird teenage mutant lizard thing from another universe. Yeah, sure thing, buddy. Andretti stares blankly at us. What? Deciding that it's easier to show than explain, I angle my body so you can see it, and now she's drooling over my back. You're wearing a fucking waterproof armor! Why are you complaining about some drool? Focus, Gordon. Unless she's like drooling down your back, which is probably just fucking gross! Yeah, I'm just as weirded out as you are, but poor kid got tossed up. I like how quickly these people are like, yeah, I guess she's just a little girl. She's just a little baby. A little baby man. Like an alien or something? What's the deal with the old baby? I'm glad. So, she's like an alien or something? What's the deal with the old baby honest? Baby honest. Okay, I haven't thought of it like that, but he's got a point. I am kind of babying her. She's like a little baby man. Little baby man. Little baby man. Little baby man. Get this little baby out of here. Do not give her a wet kiss. She's already drooling. I was wondering the same. She's kind of nice, but what exactly is she, Doc? What is the deal with the set? Oh, God, hold up. Oh yeah, where were we? He's like, I've been wondering the same. She's nice and all, but what's with the baby harness? Wait a minute, I get Benowitz's attention, hoping she can function as a speaking device. Man, that's just rude. Thankful she obliged that I sent my request to her. Oh, of course. Olivia sure would love to be doing this herself right now, no doubt, but she is completely zonked on morphine, man. I recount how I found her, a green portal having dropped her in the test chamber. She told me it's just paralyzed from below the knees, which every doctor I talked to found very odd. It's not a normal way to end up paralyzed, but I mean, you know what? They all went like, you know, I guess. Particular bit of information got the guards' attention, earning a few understanding hums and grumbles. Moral of the story is she's on our side. She hasn't done anything. I feel like a big problem with the story is that Olivia hasn't really done anything other than be a massive obstacle. I get if that's the point, but come on, man. Like, let her. I know that she did like a small thing, but she mostly defended herself, which isn't very impressive, right? Like, Gordon is implied to have saved people outright, or at least made efforts to, whereas Olivia has been very inwardly oriented. Well, that's a lot to take in. So she's basically a giant sentient alligator from another world. In a gross summation, yes. Dr. Benowitz admits, giving me a side eye. Although I will admit it's rather fascinating to hear her tale. I no doubt hope. No doubt I hope. Why would you doubt your own hopes? I have a chance to talk to her further once she awakens. Why don't you just say, I hope I have the chance to question her further? Why no doubt? Either you have no doubts that you will get that chance, or you hope that you will have that. Come on, man. Nodding, I look to our newest edition, visually asking him if he's okay with it. I mean, as long as it doesn't try to do anything freaky, I'm okay with it. Satisfied with the guard's response, just for the groups to just keep moving, buddies. All of us ensure that we have what we need. We got our emergency supplies. When did they find that guard? He's in like the little supply closet under the stairs. I thought that was by this point already, but maybe that's later. Pressing on further through the concrete hallways, we enter back into another darkened office-looking area. This one feels far more open, lined with chairs and couches than earlier spaces. Round in the corner, I freeze up as I caught. Oh no! He caught as he was a gruesome sight. For me sits an open, square-shaped area surrounded by glass and dimly lit by a large overhead advertisement board. In the original game, I think it's just open, like it's just little railings and stuff. I guess glass was a bit more of a concern. Rows of tables and chairs line the floors, while a handful full of vending machines are dotted along the walls. A large metal shutter closes off one side of the room, with several pictures of food hanging high above on the. Look at this food you can order. It's food. You can eat it. It's a cafeteria full of several occupants currently eating their meal, although not the kind people or food would be expecting. Holy shit! Someone hisses from behind. Just as awestruck as I am to watch three zombies rip off large chunks of human remains and stuff it eagerly into their waiting chest mouths. How the hell do those things do anything? I thought that was just for combat. Now they're eating? It's good eating. Thousands of ideas run through my head as I debate how to address the situation. How can I tell these people that I'm class president and I deserve their respect? What do we... Wait. God, he's like cowboys. So what do we do? Russo whines, nervously flicking his gaze around the corner. I could run in their guns blazing, but I think I'm starting to run low on ammo. Think to myself, man, brushes against something on my utility base around. Wait. You can like flip over the cover in one of the pouches. This is a really good place to use a grenade, by the way. revealing the last grenade I had on me. I know I promised Olivia she could throw it, but I'll have to take a rain check on that plan. You'll get way more later down the line, as you kind of are expected to use them against some of the turrets. Pulling the explosive out of the pouch, I fervently wave everyone back. A battery of muttered curses and surprised gasps more than clearly indicated that they realized what my plan was. I mentioned this before, but it's kind of weird that these guards don't have, like, earplugs. Because, again, they're given grenades and shotguns, which they aren't trained to use. Which is really weird that he's not trained to use a shotgun, even though they were kind of given those. But what gets me is, like, the fucking grenades. Like, it's a closed space, so sound concentrates, right? Echoes off the walls and concentrates. Shouldn't you give people earplugs? It feels kind of useful to have those. Carefully, I tiptoe to a pillar in the middle of the room, using it both as cover and to make sure I actually land my throw. You mean decrease the distance, using it as cover and as a means to reduce the distance. My fingers looped through the safety pin, preparing to pull them below his mother's too. Girl, you didn't need us to touch them. Oh no! She's thinking about the booba! I silently look back at my still sleeping girl. A sharp hiss slips between my gritted teeth as I realize that Olivia's sleep talking has alerted the horde. Wasting no time, I pull the pin, reach around the corner, and toss it square into the middle of the approaching hordes. With seconds to spare, not a second too late, I take cover behind the pillar and deafening explosion rocks the whole space, sending chunks of flesh, dust, and debris flying past my impromptu cover. It takes a second for me to recover from being so close to an explosion. The concussive force and noise alone to make my head spin. Why didn't I find a new helmet? This is why I gather my bearings. I'm amazed to not only hear, but find that the baryonyx still somehow slept through a literal explosion going off not too far from her. That's amazing. Not sort of a genetic thing of her species, or she's just that heavy a sleeper. Get some! Someone calls out from behind. The immediate threat's blown to literal pieces. A small group rounds the corner with Smith taking the lead. Impressive, pretty impressive job there, Doc. Why would you call her a human female? I mean, I guess that's because Olivia exists, but it's such a weird thing to say at this point. The entourage hums in agreement. Like, come on, man, sensitivity training. As she looks down at one of the larger chunks of zombies. I'm not one for violence, but that's actually a thing she says in the game. She suddenly gawks, bringing a hand up to cover her nose. My God, the smell alone is enough to... The sudden flurry of sound devastated the lunchroom. All of a sudden, through the pile of corpses and chunks emerged all too familiar chirping of a crap-like enemy. Somewhere like a banshee, Dr. Benowitz covers her face and points away. Squash that little bastard! Give him a good rock'em sock'em what for? Despite the doctor's distracting reaction, I quickly dispatched the otherwise ineffective foe of the few shots. Come on, man, use your crowbar! Quickly holstered up and started looking around through the shattered glass of the windows that line the cafeteria. I noticed a red door on the other side. Silently, yeah, that's on the little side section. That doesn't work. Yeah, thunk, doesn't work. That's the backtrack path. And I think that's where you find... No, you find a scientist there that runs through a little area and then gets attacked by a zombie. You can save him. It's very easy, but... the door is locked. I'll just step from now... Well, now what? I mean, is there another way? The whole group falls into a nervous silence, occasionally broken by Olivia's mindless snoring. Don't take her with you, man. She's just gonna make more people know you're there. Seriously, how could she be sleeping through all this? Hold on a second. Terry suddenly exclaims, taking a few steps back and pointing to a barricaded walkway at the opposite end of the cafeteria. It's right next to this doorway, by you. It's not the opposite end. The guard, unless they changed it in Black Mesa, and I just got confused, because I mostly have the original version in my head where it is like side by side. The guard seems to be quietly talking to himself for a second before snapping his fingers. A few moments ago, we had a little bit of an issue with the roaches. I think it was, they came from a vent that appeared to lead deeper to the freezes. He raises his hand towards a barricaded hallway. They're over there, I think. For all I know, it could be a night shift being smartasses. What does that have to do with the door? I don't know, man. Maybe it leads to the other side of the door or something. Only problem is that freezers are like negative 30 million degrees or something. Then I'm pretty sure pretty sure I don't fit through the vent. Also, it's worth pointing out that Gordon's wearing the cool boy suit, and there is a scientist in there, so it's not that cold. Also, it's a really big freezer. They have like straight up an entire carcass hanging from the hooks. It's a hell of a freezer. The gears of man start to piece together what the guards proposing. If anyone can deal with vents, it's me, the Vent Man. They call me Valve the Vent Man. Nodding, I walk over and I have him point out the hallway, and I'm just there's not that many hallways, buddy. This is not that difficult of a navigation. We'll stay here and watch over Dr. Benowitz here. Just don't take too long, do you hear? Stop rhyming. Smith proposes, solid affirmative, and he starts going. Where's he going? To find your vent. So is that like the guy who really likes Vince I heard about from Sector C? Would you believe me if I had said yes? Or my eyes, the guards faded to teasing, finding no time in the humor. It's a big thing to say, buddy. Seriously, though, you race Barney to Kleiner's office a few times, and all of a sudden, everyone in the building thinks you're some HVAC infrastructure expert. How the hell is that a shortcut? Like, crawling on your hands and knees is not that fast. Anyway, the hallway is barren. It's a really weird hallway. It's dark, and there's like a weird like separation in the middle. It makes up like takes up a tiny fraction of the hallway. It's so weird. It's like they plan to put a room there or do something with an ambush, but nothing happens. Makes his way forward. I think around the corner they get up to several. No, that's later. Pumping my shotgun. Bang, bang. And the guard and zombie corpses, creating a small pile of bodies. It's 2 bodies. That's not a pile. Seriously, though, there's a large metallic door to my left. No doubt the entrance to the freezer the guard had just mentioned. Just as I make my way over to the large handle that would no doubt open door, I see something that catches my eye. It's a health station. Just hook her up, baby. My mood soars as I gaze back to my still sleeping passenger. No doubt she's exhausted from the stress of everything, especially the whole being shot part. However, the promise of healing Olivia conflicts with the little time we have. What time? Why are you this concerned about time? There truly is a way inside the freezer that leads to the door. I can't just stay here and wait. But I can't let this opportunity go to waste. What if I just leave her here? I've done it plenty of times before. I could sit her down, wake her up, quickly circle back around. She'll be defenseless until then. What if... So I debated the idea in my head, the stress of an invisible clock counting down against my mind. If I'm gonna do it, it's now or never. You're not under that much of a time pressure, buddy. What are you concerned about? Taking a deep breath, I slide over to the health station, squat down next to it. What's that? Blurrily blink awake. It's Olivia's POV now, feeling the reality of the world coming back to me from the dream I was having. Wait, it was like I was shot, and then I saw Inko in my bedroom, and the last part was more fun than the first one. He kept touching my cheeks, and he was like, "Yes, Inko, you can touch those without asking. They're just my little face. It's just my little baby face, my little baby cheeks." As I blinked the crusty bits out of my eyes, how the fuck that happened? It's been like 5 minutes. I met with the gentle face of Gordon looking down at me. I don't recognize the hallway, only now just noticing him am I. Gordon, I hoarsely call out. But what remind me of this in water would be nice sometimes. Where are we? What happened to everyone? Are they dead? The young one looks conflicted on how to convey what happened. Instead, he silently points towards my arm. My gaze drifts over, freezing on the bloodied bandage wrapped around my upper arm where a missing sleeve from the jacket used to be. Ah, so that wasn't a dream. Shit. That is a really low-key response to finding out you just got shot, lady. There's a sound of shuffling from the human, probably him answering me. The problem is I can't tear my gaze off the wound, the mere fact of the reality seeming somehow unreal. I've been shot, and there's no sense of pride or horrible fear. It happened. And that's just kind of it. It's actually a pretty dull feeling, all things considered. Scary thing to feel. Clap, clap. Put your hands together. Oh, yeah. The human puts his hands together, snapping me back to reality around me. I ignore the fallen zombies nearby. This is just kind of normal. It's like carpeting. Shaking my hand, I look back up. Behind a pair of dirty glasses. Just wash them, man. There's little fountain taps, probably. Gordon gives a gentle smile, waving his hands over my body in an open palmed gesture. I blink for a second. There aren't many toilets in this game, are there? I guess there's one at the beginning, but I blink for a second, confused before it clicks. Oh, yeah, I'm okay. You know, besides being shot. Puts a dapper on my day. Human's look softens slightly. Guilt starting to drip off the limits of readable expressions. Yeah, I'm cool. Don't worry about it, big guy. Every time I see that, I think to some extent flashback to like when I think Dan Avidan told Aaron like I call you big guy all the time. It's such a fucking weird moment, man. But Aaron's like, no, you don't. And then I stopped watching the show. I don't know why. It just happened at some point. I think it's because something about it is missing, right? Because like with my LPs, I'm not saying I'm particularly good at it, but you're getting like a very specific kind of viewpoint. And I like to think I'm more observant and dedicated than most people tend to be. I try to meet things halfway and analyze them a little bit more. Perhaps, mayhaps, thinking about stuff, putting my brain to it. But I think with that, it's like you kind of gotta want the guys, Because, for example, there's Alex Diener I watch. That guy, he does a lot of fun puzzle games. So expose me to games that I'm not going to play myself. It's fun to watch. There's Raukau, who also does like weird stuff and tends to have an interesting, he's got something to add to the conversation. With Game Grumps, it's just like you're kind of watching something for toddlers, it feels like. It lost some of its jubilance. I don't know, man. Maybe I've just gotten older. As they say, no matter how old you get, the kids in high school always stay the same age. The classes don't change. Similarly, No matter how old you get, whatever you're watching, you'll all grow it eventually. If they don't grow up with you. Whatever the fuck any of that means. Anyway. No, he called him like something else, like big something. Whatever. My words seem to have a tiny yet decided effect on Mr. Smile returns. He's like, yeah, man, I can leave you alone now. So it's like I'd recognize in the first place. It's nowhere I've been. We've been constantly going to new places. Why would I ever recognize anything? Where is anyone? Everyone? Gordon throws a thumb over his back before divulging another silent game of charades. He points to himself, then away, then to the ground, then to me and him. As he down with his palms together and snaking to the ground. Yeah, cool. I think I got that. Didn't get anything. Bingus. So fill me in. What's next? Gloved Head once more takes to gesturing, this time signing something that's a lot more familiar. You stay here. But why? I just woke up, and in case you didn't notice, I just got shot. With my hand over my wound, only to cringe as a sharp stab rocks my body. He isn't good at Tifa, and he gets the wall. Fuck. Green eyes look down at me with visible concern before Gordon. He leaps to action. Instead of doing whatever I thought he was doing it, honestly, he wasn't sure what he was doing anyways. He reaches for something dangling over me. I look up. Huh. Neat. Sure enough, Fics not too far above my head is a hell station like I've seen around before. Slowly piecing together what the human means to do, I actually elect to close my mouth for once and let him do his work. It's more of a blurry memory, but I do remember that the stuff feels really good when it's pumped into me. It explains why she wasn't feeling so good earlier, because the green stuff from the walls, the chemical red, as Yahtzee calls it, is this is good stuff. Okay, that sounded wrong, but it's good healing juice. No, that's not any better. Whatever, the stuff feels good. It's good healing juice. Slowly crouching down, Gordon holds a small syringe-looking tube connected to the machine out for me to see. Bob's in acceptance. I'm gonna get my flu shots. I'm gonna be injected with the microchips of the government. It's not even my government. It's a completely separate government that's giving me completely separate chips. I'm gonna have two sets of chips fighting each other. After Jesus, okay. Lay it on me, big man. Give me your green juice of goodness. After Jesus, the fuck is wrong with me? I have one dream about Inko touching my boobs, and this is what I'm like. Does shock include terminal flow of shit to the brain or something? My brain's probably pretty scrumbled. The human pauses, just short of poking me, noticing a scowl on my face, blinking I raise my totally not messed up arm in a calming wave. I'm cool, just thinking about stuff. Poke me already! Gordon blinks at my choice of words, but decides not to delay anymore. As soon as the needle pricks my arm, the familiar noise and thrums of the station begin to fill the air. A shaky sigh of pleasure slips from me as I slump back against the wall. The liquid, whatever it is, its warmness flows through me like I'm slowly being dipped into a hot tub. Its warmth and pleasure spreads through every inch of me as I close my eyes and bask and see. Oh yeah, that's the stuff. I wonder if this is how people get addicted. Just as soon as it began, the healing machine comes to a stop, the negative buzz sounding out of the machine. My eyes snap open, looking up in a desperately disappointed fever. If you play in Black Mesa mode, the little battery you should pick up only give 10 instead of 15. I also imagine that some of the healing stations aren't as effective. It feels like an easy and cheap thing to do. I think that's how they do it in the second game, maybe? I know there's one which has like health stations like this, and it changes how much they offer. Or some of them are like not online; they're empty before you get there. I don't know what it is. What? Over already? I rose to my knees without thinking, ignoring the panic just as the human next to me has tried to take a firm hold of the machine. You can't do this to me! It rattles fervently, shaking side to side. Do you know how much I sacrificed? Give me my fix! Oh, Olivia, I can't believe you're a fucking junkie now. Ugh. Gloved hands firmly grab my shoulder and pull me off the machine. Stop being a junkie! A battery of ever more pathetic insults being hurled upwards. Nevertheless, the reality of the situation was simple. The machine had done its duty. The second I'm not in the mood to rob its life function, I realized the massive stabbing pain that was in my arm dulled to a small ache, like the one I had on my back. To my surprise, Gordon actually settles down on the floor in front of me, intently staring with those green piercing eyes. Sorry. Whatever, let's not talk about it. Look, I'm healed now, so you can take me with you and get moving again? I want to call out that he just saw you fucking relapse, you little junkie. But more importantly, didn't Gordon not have time? I thought he was just going to dump you and move on. Oh, man. 0 Fahrenheit? Oof, that place is like negative 32 degrees, right? Celsius. His head shakes. Seriously, what is your problem all of a sudden? He turns and points to the wall. Looking behind him, I realize there's a gigantic metallic wall and door there. Written high above in yellow and black is a sign that reads, Culinary Deep Freezer, to be maintained at 0 Fahrenheit. 0 degrees Fahrenheit, excuse me. I scan the sign, then look down at the singular frost-crusted door, then at the sign, then the door. Wow, it's so well insulated, and it still fucking freezes over on the outside. Uh, I'd rather freeze in there, I softly mutter. Why can't you just bring her back to the fucking people or tell her to crawl down the hallway? I feel like that's a pretty safe alternative, as long as nothing pops in there, which tends to happen all over the place. Softly mutter, getting a small nod from the human. It was more gestures for me to stay in place, and he'd go do whatever he needed to do. And swing back and get me. Simple stuff, right? I've said this before and I'll say it again. I'm getting really tired of you just leaving me behind. An understanding and apologetic silence. Understanding and apologetic silent look. Jesus, why are you doing apologetic and understanding, and then you go with a silent look? Like you're using adverbs wrong. Your adjectives wrong. He knows I don't like it, and I'm pretty sure he doesn't like it. But neither of us have a choice. Sighing, I slump back against the wall, wrapping my tail around my torso, simply waving him to be on while looking away. Whatever, just go do it. I'll be here. In the corner of my vision, the man hesitates for a second before slowly nodding and rising to his feet. The sound of his kit adjusting fills the space between us. I'm pretty sure it's surrounding him, if anything. Something is being held out to me. Half expecting the crowbar to be given to me again, I freeze in place, see what I see. You're not serious, right? Well, he's got to fight a bull squid. He needs a shotgun. Thereon held to me the lower half of a familiar handgun. He nods, seemingly certain of his gifting of the firearm to me. I blink, letting my maw droop open in surprise at the fact that he feels confident enough to give me the gun, let alone the chance to hold it. Normally, in these circumstances, I'd lose my mind over having the chance to hold any kind of firearm. But then I saw what all might and horrifying danger and power they actually have in the real world. Plus, I was shot by... No, you were shot by an automatic Gatling gun, which is not the same. Different caliber. Are you sure? I stammer, flicking my gaze between the weapon and him. I don't even know how to use one of these. After seen my fair share of movies and TV, I had a basic idea how to do one. Put the bullet in, rack the slide like a badass, pointed at the bad guy and bang. But from what I've seen, an idiot can more than fuck up these simple steps and allow themselves to get killed, including me. Yeah, it is a bit more complicated, primarily like recoil you have to account for. Also, you don't have to rack the fucking slide. Odds are this is a semi-automatic, which means that it uses the recoil of the bullet or whatever, the gases or fucking whatever, to hit the slide instead. You don't have to do it with your fucking hands, you little creep. You do that when it's misfired or something is jammed and you need to get it out. To my surprise, Gordon does show a bit of hesitation, hopefully realizing, or at least already knowing, that I don't have much in the ways of gun experience other than being shot, blinded, concussed, or deafened by them. With a gentle swoop, he waves me up onto my knees. I carefully comply, kicking my knees under me and resting on my haunches. In the blink of an eye, pushes a button, drops the mag, and racks in the slide. Singular bullet goes flying out of the top of the gun, flattening on the floor and rolling over to me. I gingerly pick up the loose round, feeling its tipped shape and letting it roll on my hand before handing it back to Gordon. Nodding his science facts, he pops it back into the mag. Once more, he flips it and holds out the grip to me. Just before I hesitate, but affirming, okay. But she's like, I know what a bullet looks like now. The firearm's weight settles on my palm. The rich grooves of the grip gently rub against my scales. It's lighter than I thought it would be. Yeah, because all the fucking gun has to do is like hold some small mechanisms and like not explode when a bullet goes off. You'd be surprised how light you can make a firearm, especially with things like plastic. Or you can make like some parts of plastic and some parts of metal. And like a lot of it is just ergonomics, because it is just a fucking tube with bullets going in. There are guns, right? Those pipe guns that the British made. Like you can really strip down a gun. It's just awful to use at that point, but it functions as a gun. Gordon nods, lowering himself down to my level. And I imagine these little 9mm Glock things are mostly made out of plastic. They're mostly security pistols, after all. They're not meant to survive, like, weird circumstances. It's mostly just stay intact long enough you can fire with it. With silent guidance, he plucks the gun back from me. My gaze dutifully follows him, tries to instruct me how to use the gun without using a single word. Who knew that silent gun classes could be so confusing? Jesus Christ. Okay, I'm gonna have to cut it here because it's gone for... I thought this was, like, obviously cut off and the whole...